හදවත් දිනාගත් සංගීතාකර්ෂණය.
Music which has won the hearts of many.
නවමු අත්දැකීමකින් සෑම සෙනසුරාදාම පෙරවරු 10ට වෙළඳ සේවය සහ රේඩියෝ ශ්‍රී ලංකා ඒකාබද්ධව.
A brand new experience on Saturday Stars. Simulcast every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Sinhala Commercial Service and Radio Sri Lanka.
වෙළඳ සේවය 94.3 94.5.
Radio Sri Lanka 97.4 and 97.6.
කණ්ඩායම් ගී.
Saturday Stars Kandayam Gee.
Well, this personality was one that I saw many years ago. Strangely, it was about the same time that I joined broadcasting in 1964. And here was this very sweet-faced but very thin young lady, slim as ever. That's a better word, isn't it? Slim young lady, whom I happened to come to know because of my association with music. And later on, this young lady came to be identified as Miss Music because she was so full of music. What couldn't she do with music? She could play keyboard, she could arrange music, she could compose music, and of course, she could sing and sing her heart out to everyone who heard her. She's a well-traveled young lady because her music took her to many countries overseas. Of course, with the passage of time, many other things did happen, and we probably talk about it, some of which is domestic as well, as I have known them like family friends for so many years. I'm talking about, any guesses? Everybody calls her Mignonne, and there's another pronunciation for her name, and that's Mignonne. And you can call her what you like. She will always love you for who you are. She's that kind of personality too. She cares for people, she smiles with people, and it's wonderful to come to get to know her. Well, we will discover more about her, Victor, as we go along, but for starters, let me just mention her name. She is Mignonne or Mignonne. Initially Mignonne Ratnam, ultimately Mignonne Fernando.
Yeah. Hello, Vijaya. Hello, Victor.
Good morning to you, Mignonne. Subha udasana keva, Mignonne. ආචාර්ය විජය කොරයා මහත්මයා මේ ආකාරයෙන් මිනෝන් හඳුනා දෙනකොට අපි මිනෝන්ට වඩා සංගීත ලෝකයේ ගීත අරහා මිනෝන්ව හොඳට අහලා පුරුදු ගීත මේ ලෝකයට ශ්‍රී ලංකාවට දායාද කරපු කෙනෙක් තමයි මිනෝන් ෆර්නැන්ඩෝ. දැන් බලන්න ඔබගේ විවාහ මංගල්‍යය නැතිනම් ඔයාලගේ සහෝදරයෙකුගේ ඥාතියෙකුගේ නැත්නම් දුවෙකුගේ පුතුගේ විවාහ මංගල්‍යයේදී ඔබලා අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම අසා තිබෙන ගීතයක් කියනවා නම් ඒක මේ ගීතේ වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක මිනෝන් විසින් ගායනා කරපු ගීතයක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක එහෙම වෙනවා. මේ ගීතය අහලා නැති ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයෙක් නැත්තම්.
Then
කියන්නේ කෙනෙකුගේ මංගල මොහොත ළඟා වුණාම ඒ මොහොත ගැන යම් විස්තරාත්මක දෙයක් ගීතයක් තුලින් ඉදිරිපත් කරන්නට හැකියාව උදා වුණේ අපේ මේ මිනොන්ටයි. ඇගේ ඒ මංගල මොහොත කියන ඒ ගීතය රට පුරා ජනප්‍රිය වුණා. ඒ හේතුවෙන් තමයි වික්ටර් මේ දැන් සඳහන් කර පරිදි ඕනම මංගල උත්සවයක බොහෝ විට මේ ගීයට සමන් දෙන්නට පුළුවන්. මා අහලා තියෙනවා අනිකුත් සංගීත කණ්ඩායම් මේ ගීය මේ මිනොන් විසින් මුලින්ම ගායනා කරපු ඒ ගීය ගායනවා. ඒ ගීය ගායන අවස්ථාවක ඒක අර්ථවත් වෙනවා. ඕන කෙනෙකුගේ ජීවිතයේ අර මොහොත නැවත මතක් වෙනවා.
ඒ ගීතය අහනකොට ආචාර්ය විජේකෝරයන් මහත්මයා මට හිතෙන හැඟීම තමයි දුවෙක් අහනකොට හිතෙන්නේ මේ දුව මේ මංගල මොහොත ගැන සිහිනම වාගෙන අපේක්ෂාවන් පොදි බැඳගෙන හෙට යන දීගේ ගමන ගැන සිහිනමවමින් හඬනගා කියන හැඟීම කියන එක තමයි මට හිතෙන්නේ. ඒ වගේම දාබර අම්මා කෙනෙක් තාත්තා කෙනෙක් අහනකොට හිතෙන්නේ දාබර දෝනි දුව එයාගේ සිහිනය විතර කරන්නට මේ ගීතය අපිටයි මේ කියන්නේ කියලා. ඒ වගේම ස්වාමි පුරුෂයා දාබර ස්වාමි පුරුෂයා එයාගේ අදිනත ගන්න ස්වාමි පුරුෂයා අහනවා නම් යාට හිතෙන්නේ මේ මගේ අනාගත බිරිඳ හෙට දිනේ බිරිඳ වන මගේ ඒ සොඳුරිය තමයි මේ ගීතේ මටම ගායනා කරන කියලා. මෙන්න මේකයි මේ ගීතේ තියෙන වටිනාකම. සියලුම ශ්‍රාවකයන්ට ඔබින ආකාරයෙන් ඊටත් වඩා ලස්සන දේ තමයි විජේකෝරයන් මහත්මයා ශ්‍රී ලාංකීය සංස්කෘතිය සහ අර කුලපතිනිය වෙලා ගෙදරින් පිට වෙන්න අවස්ථාවේදී ඇති වෙන ඒ සංස්කෘතිමය බැඳීම තාමත් වර්ණවත්ව ලස්සනට මේකේ නිර්මාණය වෙලා තියෙන එක. ඒකයි මේ රහස. අපි මිනුන්ටත් අවස්ථාව දෙමු මේ ගැන කතා කරන්න.
කැදල්ලි ඇති වූ ඒ කිරිල්ලි ගැන කියන්නකෝ අපිට තව ටිකක්.
Yes. So you asking me about the song and how I sort of thought about it. Well, I think marriages in Sri Lanka, the family is a very close unit, and there's much more dependence. So that's why I thought of the concept of the symbol of a bird in the nest getting ready to fly away from the nest, and also about the astrological, the zodiac, as in my zodiac sign sort of. So I also wrote, as you may not know, I also wrote the English lyrics. First Karuranatna Abesekara wrote the Sinhala lyrics, and that was based on a prose interpretation that I had in my mind when I wrote this song. How the parents say it's time for you to get married, and then the daughter is thinking these little thoughts like before the wedding, like a bird in the nest. Now it's time for me to fly away and leave my parents. Will I have the same comfort and joy which I had with my Ammi and Tata and Malli and Nangi and all that? And that when I'm going to this new world, she sort of asks the husband to be, please look after me the same way that they looked after me, and I will also hold your hand and walk towards the sun. Like that is the idea in the song. And I think because the English record company EMI, when they heard it, they thought the emotions of the daughter was so Sri Lankan that at that time we didn't have the word Sri Lanka so much. So they called it, in England it is called Ceylonese wedding song by Mignonne, Fernando. So that's the thing.
That is a fabulous achievement indeed. Yes, when you mentioned about the EMI records in UK, Mangala Mohta was recorded there, and that was the first. You became the very first Sri Lankan to just achieve that particular achievement on behalf of the generations of musicians in Sri Lanka. Dr. Vijaya Corea.
පළවෙනි වතාවට එංගලන්තයේ මේ වගේ EMI පටිගත කරන සමාගම විසින් මේ ගීය හඳුනාගෙන එක අගයකොට පටිගත කිරීම විශිෂ්ටයි. මා හිතන්නේ මේ ප්‍රථම වරට අපේ ශ්‍රී ලංකීය ගායිකාවකගේ නැත්නම් සංගීතඥයෙක්ගේ මේ වගේ නිර්මාණයක් ඒ වගේ තත්වයකට පත් වුණා කියන එක අපි කාටත් ආපස්සට බලනකොට ආඩම්බරයක්. ඒ වගේම මට මතකයි මේ මිනොන් ගැන කතා කරනකොට එවකට තිබුණ ජනප්‍රිය කණ්ඩායමකට බැඳුණා ජෙට්ලයිනර්ස්ලා කියලා. ජෙට්ලයිනර්ස් මුලින්ම ජෙට්ලයිනර්ස්ලා පටන් ගත්තේ මේ සම්ප්‍රදායි ලීඩ් ගිටාර්, රිදම් ගිටාර්, බේස් ගිටාර්.
Three guitars and drums, and then I played the organ.
That's right. Drums වාදනය ඊට පස්සේ මේ keyboard වාදනය. So Mignonne came in and she enriched the entire scene by adding her prowess in keyboard playing and took the jetliners to a higher level, if I may say so. And all the other members are also very gifted and talented, question about it. But as she added both flavor and luster to the jetliners as a band and as a group, and they just became very, very, very popular with the days to come. They were the number one dance band, or if you took a stage show, it was the jetliners. And so she was an integral part of that. And having said that, her capability was such that she began then thereafter to arrange the music for the jetliners to perform. And that made a significant difference. In terms of the standard of music that people heard from the jetliners as a result of Mignonne's contribution to arrangements and things like that. And one other thing was that she always insisted on standard, precision. And, well, with the passage of time, there was a Mangala Mohota that came her way also. And it came, naturally. And the manager of the jetliners, who was a dear friend of mine and whom I remember with much affection, and I'll tell you in a moment one of the reasons why, he got attached to her, and so did she, and the Mangala Mohata arrived. And so then husband and wife was in charge of the jetliners, and that did make a huge difference. And I had the opportunity to take the music of the jetliners and promote them on the airwaves. And of course that was easy because their music was well received. I said there's something about Tony Fernando, if you don't mind my mentioning.
Why not?
He was she was close to me, he was a good friend, and more than anything else, he had gratitude in his heart for whatever I was able to do in my little way to help and promote the jetliners. And when my little son, now he's 49 years old today, but when he was a baby, he came home one day, and on his own, he said, I want to take some photographs. And he came and took some photographs of that baby who was on a table, just with his jangi. And he got a shot which I thought was award-winning. There was a little drool of a little saliva, or shall I call it what we always call it, spit, from the corner of his mouth. And it was a classical photograph. And I said, Tony, I don't know about managing music. I think you need to take to photography.
He was very good at photography as well, though he hated to be photographed himself.
Yes. That way he was very unassuming, always, in the background, and sending Mignonne, of course, like a mascot to the front. Yes. So there we are. Well, Mignonne has had many achievements during her lifetime, having begun in the mid-60s or early 60s. Not too long ago, 2019, we are just about looking at 2 years ago, she was the recipient of the national honor, Deshabhimani Kirti Sri Kalabhushana. She was awarded the second highest national honor in recognition of her achievements in the category of music and the arts. Am I right?
Yes, thank you. I'm so grateful for that recognition, because even though there have been awards from other countries, when it comes to your homeland and what the country you love so much, when they recognize you, it's always close to your heart.
I can understand what you're saying, because the Bible says the prophet is not without honor save in his own country. So you received that honor, and that, as you rightly said, is a great breakthrough. Good.
And, talking about the jetliners and the challenges during that period that you encountered just to bring this particular outfit to the right platform.
Yes.
So can you recall those?
Yes, I think the first stint when we went to the Taj, because we were invited to take this music to the Taj Mahal, and where most of the society, children, and create the new pop music for India. It was quite a challenge, because these children were very sophisticated, and the music that they heard, they were very critical of. So it was, the jetliners had to be really like a show band, not just only playing the guitars. They jumped on this and that, and we had those go girls and everything. So I must say that kudos to the band. They really worked hard at their art, and also they loved it so much. And we managed to get this beautiful connection at the Blow Up discotheque, and that was the first discotheque in Bombay. And it's from that popular music that we brought that the Taj Hotel actually came to Sri Lanka also later, because they got to know about Sri Lanka and the type of music we played, and decided to make a hotel also in Sri Lanka. So it was beautiful, a very auspicious connection. We almost played like 5 years at the Taj, because when it became the Taj Intercontinental also, we went there and we played. And most of the weddings, like Rajesh Khanna, Dimple Kapadia, we played for the wedding receptions in the Taj. It was so nice, and the people were, loved us almost with a fierce loyalty, which was lovely. And they helped also to make us grow in our industry, because we also learned so much with the experience of working with little, those crowds there. And from there we went to Singapore and other places like that. But the jetliners gave of their own talent and got the experience from working with that crowd. So it was a beautiful give and take situation.
That's great. ඉතාමත් ලස්සනට ආචාර්ය විජේකුල මහත්මයා මිනොන් විස්තර කළා. ඒ දවස්වල විශේෂයෙන් සංගීත කණ්ඩායමක් හැටියට හාමනි ගෲපයක් විතරක්ම නෙවෙයි, ඊට වඩා ඔබට ගිය බටහිර ශෛලයන් තමන්ට නතු කරගන්නමින් බටහිර ලෝකෙ ජය ගන්න පුළුවන් ආකාර නිර්මාණ කරමින්, ඒ වගේම සිංහල ජන සමාජයේ සංගීතය මනාව තේරුම් අරගෙන ඒට ඔබින නිර්මාණ බිහි කරමින් ලංකාව තුළ මේ වගේ දෙයක් කරන්නට සමත් වුණා ඒ 60 දශකයේ. ඒ වගේම තාජ් සමුද්‍ර හෝටලය පාදක කරගෙන විශේෂයෙන් ඉන්දියාවෙන් ඩිස්කෝටෙක් කියන ඒ තාක්ෂණය උපයෝග කරගෙන ඉතාමත් මනරම් විදියට ඒ යුගයේ තිබිච්ච ඒ විචිත්‍රත්වය අරගෙන මේ ජෙට්ලයිනර්ස්ලා බිහිවීම ඉතාමත් අභියෝගාත්මක දෙයක් කියලා තමයි මම සඳහන් කළේ. ඒක ඉතාමත් රසවත්.
say come and stay. Don't want to go away. Have to go, babe, have to go, babe, oh, babe.
ඒ වගේම ආචාර්ය විජේකර මහත්මයාට සඳහන් කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් මේ ජෙට් ලයිනර්ස්ලාගේ ගමන් මගේ ඔබතුමාගේ දායකත්වය සහ ඔබතුමාට මතක් වෙන ඒ අතීත ආවර්ජනය තියෙනවා නම් ජෙට් ලයිනර්ස්ලා එක්ක අපි ඒකත් මතක් කරමු.
ජෙට් ලයිනර්ස්ලා එක්ක අපි ගමනක් ගියා කියන්නේ මම නිවේදකයෙක් වශයෙන් ඒ කියන්නේ ප්‍රංශ වචනයක් ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් කියනවා නම් කොම්පියර් හැටියට මේ ඩාන්සර්ස් වල එතකොට මේ සංගීත ප්‍රසංග ස්ටේජ් ෂෝස් වල අපි හමු වෙනවා මේ ඉදිරිපත් කරනවා ඒ අරුණම මේ ආයේ සංගීතය විටින් විට පටිගත වුණායින් පසුව මගේ අතටපත් වුණාම මම ඒක ගුවන් විදුලියට යොමු කළා අසන්නන්ට අවස්ථාව දෙනවා ඒක අසන්න ඒක ප්‍රියකරන්න ඒ වගේම මට මතකයට ආවර වචනය මතකය කියලා පාවිච්චි කරපු නිසා කලමනාකාරීත්වයේ හිටපු ටෝනි ෆර්නෑන්ඩෝ මහත්මයා එක සැරයක් දෙසරයක් නෙමෙයි මට දුරකථන ඇමතීම් දීලා කියනවා මම අලුතෙන් මේ පටිගත කරලා තියෙනවා මේ වගේ එකක් ඇවිල්ලා අහලා මට කියන්න මොකක්ද ඒක ගැන හිතන්නේ අඩුවක් තියනවද මොකක්ද කියලා කියන්න මොකද එතුමා නිතරම කියපු දෙයක් තමයි එතුමා හඳුනාගත්තයි කියලා මට මේ සංගීතය සම්බන්ධයෙන් කන්දකක් තියෙනවා කියලා ඉතින් මට ඒකත් මතකයි Louis Brown's recording studio එකේ දවසට මකලම් පාරක ඉතින් මේවා තමයි මගේ මතකයට එන්නේ මේ jet liners මේ Mignonne හායි කණ්ඩායම සම්බන්ධයෙන්
ඩොක්ටර් විජේකර එහෙම කෙනෙකුට මට මතක් වෙනවා දැන් සිංහල සංගීතයට කරපු දායකත්වයේ වගේම ලංකාවේ හඬ ඉංග්‍රීසි භාෂාවෙන් ලෝකෙට ගෙන යන්නට ඒ වගේම ලංකාවේ ගීත ලෝකෙට ගෙන යන්නට Mignonne සහ the jet liners ලොකු සේවයක් කළා. අපි මතක් කරොත් Mignonne if we recall Love Don't Let Me Down the Embassy Awards World Popular Song Festival Someday My Love Matsushita Award Special Jury Award for Composer and Performer at the Festival of Songs and the single song Obanisa, the 5th Olympiad of Song in Athens, Greece in 1972. The gold medal winning song that was, if I'm correct. And the Coconut Man made the finals World Popular Song Festival in Tokyo. The first time a song done by a female.
Yes.
Shall we talk about those important achievements?
Yes. The thing was, most of the songs that the countries that participated in the World Popular Song Festival, the composer was one person, the performer was another person, you know. Now, I was composer and performer, and also being in Sri Lanka, we didn't have these very big orchestras and all that. So when my songs were selected, I didn't even have an orchestra for me to try out what music I arranged. නේද ලියලා මේ ඔක්කොම various brass section ඔක්කොම තියලා ලියනවා. ඊට පස්සේ ඒක ඇහෙන්න ඕනේනේ to try it out and see how are the instruments, but I didn't have, because symphony orchestra is playing different kind of music. So we didn't have anything, so I wrote. Also, that was a big challenge for me. I had to look at the books, because I have done classical music, but I had to learn to write all that and then send the score plus conductor score Evandone. And then when I went there, only when the orchestra played, only I could hear what I wrote. But but anyway, I was so happy that I got that award, because I competed with people like Michel Legrand and all. These are very, very well established conductors. Yes. Yeah. So, and my songs, as you may notice, now Love Don't Let Me Down was like a Motown type of song. Somewhere My Love was a ballad. But then after that, when I wrote Obanisa, I put this. It went for a Greece program, but it has a very nice like a continental flavor. Mm-hmm. And Desmond had to sing the song, because I couldn't go to sing that, because I got chosen in 2 countries, in Athens and in Yugoslavia. So I sang Island of Memories in Yugoslavia, and Desmond sang Obanisa, and the song got the most popular award for in Desmond's thing. And then I also did this kiki coconut la betaganda torala balanda. So ekat I put a little bit of the Sinhalese words to keep the flavor of my country. Mm-hmm. And I always wore the nalal patiya, because when I compete with I wore the Kandyan sari and the nalal patiya, because to show the Sri Lanka. Yes. So that's that. I kept that even right now, 2019, I'm wearing it, you know. Mm.
And with all that, yes, you deserve the right important title, Deshabhimani Kirti Sri Kalabhushana Mignonne Fernando. Mm-hmm. We really respect it very much, Doctor.
And talking of keeping the country flavor and your loyalty to the country and the country's appreciation, it so happened that 1997-98, mm-hmm. You composed and recorded Proud to be Sri Lankan, which was released for airplay, I think, on Independence Day, on the 4th of February 1998, to celebrate the Golden Jubilee of Sri Lanka's independence. I think, moreover, the song was performed for the official Independence Day concert at the Golface Green. Yes. And that at the request of the then Prime Minister, Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe. Yes. We musicians and we broadcasters are essentially apolitical, so we've served several governments and several leaders, and we are not in politics, we are in music, or we are in broadcasting. So it so happened that just like the Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe went to Mignonne, the Honorable Mahinda Rajapaksa Prime Minister in 2004, in that year, presented Mignonne the Zonta Woman of Achievement Award for that year, 2004, in the category of Creative and Performing Arts. So she has obtained recognition at the highest level here in Mother Lanka.
Thank you, Vijaya.
We are proud of you, Mignonne.
Thank you. I feel humbled. Thank you.
And in 2005, Mignonne, she was awarded Best Female Performer Sri Lankan Originals for 2005 at the SLO Awards of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Yes, very dear to me, yes.
And it went on from year to year. From 2005, 2006, the Most Outstanding Citizens Award she received. So she's an award winner.
Always, yes. මිනෝන් අපිට මේ වගේ කතා කරනකොට මේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ කණ්ඩායම් සංගීතයේ ප්‍රබෝධය 60 දශකයේ 70 දශකයේ ඇති වෙලා තියෙන කාලේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවට විතරක්ම නෙවෙයි කණ්ඩායම් සංගීතය පිටරටවල වලට විදේශගත කිරීමට සමත් වුණු මිනෝන් ගොඩාක් කල් ගත කරන්නේ හොංකොං දේශයේ. අපි මේ හොංකොං දේශයට ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ බිහි වූ The Jetliners මිනෝන් and the Jetliners කණ්ඩායම හොංකොං දේශයේ වසර ගණනාවක් හෝටලයක් පාදක කරගෙන එහි සංගීතය සපයනවා මේ ඒ හෝටලෙට එන පිරිසට. මේ කතාව අපි මතකයෙන් ආවර්ජනය කරොත් කොහොමද මිනෝන්? How do you recall that? The life in Hong Kong and how do you got into Hong Kong and how long you have been there?
Yes, I actually, we sent a cassette tape of our recordings. We were working with the Ceylon Intercon, then Kingsbury, but at that time it was Ceylon Intercontinental, and we were working there. We sent a cassette of about 12 songs or so of the band, and there were about 1,200 people who had sent songs and big videos and everything. We didn't send, we just sent photographs and the cassette.
Not only Sri Lankan artists,
all over the world. And then we were really shocked when we got chosen to open the region of Hong Kong, and the Intercon was very sweet to allow us to go, and we left September 30th or so, and October 1st 1980 we opened this hotel.
If you recall the number of members that you
yes, about six I think. Six members. And then when we went there, we went only for 3 months because we didn't want to take too long. We wanted to see what it's like. But then it became 16 to 18 years when we worked there. So that was wonderful, and consecutively. Every year they extended. And it became 3 times world best hotel in the world. So it was really, really a good experience. Very nice contract. It was a most rewarding contract between a musician and the hotel management. I think it is one of the best contracts we have, because the understanding and the respect for both sides. The musician respects the management respects the musician, which is very important. It must also be good for the musician, and they gave us 3 times a year 2 weeks leave, and we come once of the year. We get free tickets also to go home and come. So it was wonderful. We didn't even it was like our second home, Hong Kong. After 16 years, you feel like it. Then they asked us to wait, come back and do the handover party and everything. So it was beautiful, and we became also the resident band for the governor of Hong Kong. So as a Sri Lankan band, we were quite thrilled because we were an expat band, when you say, because we are not Chinese, no? So we were expat band, but we became the best band, and we were happy that we were Sri Lankan.
If you recall during that part of the time, if you take the music industry of Hong Kong, how do you found any important challenges just to, overcome that? The best performance in the Hong Kong.
We had a very good rapport with the Chinese musicians because they came as cabaret act. In the middle, like when you're having dinner, the Chinese girl will come and sing her song in Chinese, and our boys knew how to accompany them, and so they played for them. So the balance between the Chinese artists and us, we never created a problem. And then the other thing was, there are lots of talented Filipinos in Hong Kong. That Philippine musicians are fabulous. And we also augmented a section of brass, like trumpets, trombones, alto sax, tenor sax and all, to make that big band sound. So sometimes the governor wants to have a big ball and like big band music and all. So we augmented the Filipinos, and we paid them very well. My husband was an excellent paymaster, and we paid them very well. So they also had that support with us, no? So whenever we had the opportunity to augment and play with the other musicians and never cramped anybody's style, we did it. So that we had a good, like a brotherhood of musicians.
A good rapport.
Yes, very good rapport, yes.
And so talking of Philippines, I think in 1975, you were selected by the Asian Composers League to represent Sri Lanka. Tell us something about that, Mira.
Yes, that happened because I started writing. I have written this. It's also in my CD, which I wrote. It's called Images. We were given, once we had established the World Popular Song Festival, and I was like a composer of kind of refute, then they request from countries to send composers and composers to take part in this Asian Composers League. So Mrs. Marcos was the head of that, Imelda Marcos. And she said the subject was take your folk music of your country and make a contemporary composition. So I did, you take a little bit of the Vanams and this and a theme of the Sri Lankan theme, and I developed that into 4 parts, and I did it for the royal family in Bangkok. And when they heard that, they liked it so much, then Mrs. Marcos invited me to come and do something there. So, and then she put me into the Asian Composers League. Yeah. So that was nice.
මේක අපේ සිංහල ශ්‍රාවකයන්ට තාමත් හොඳ පණිවිඩයක්. කලාතුරකින් මේ වගේ දෙයක් අහන්න හම්බ වෙන පණිවිඩයක් ආචාර්ය විජේකෝරේ මහත්මයා. විශේෂයෙන් හොංකොං දේශයේ වසර 18ක් පමණ කාලයක් ශ්‍රී ලාංකීය සංගීත කණ්ඩායම් සම්භවයක් ඇති මිනොන් සහ ජෙට්ලයිනර්ස් අඛණ්ඩවම හෝටල් ක්ෂේත්‍රයේ සංගීතය සපමින් එයින් ප්‍රේක්ෂකයන්ව සනසමින් ගීත ගායනා කොට ඔවුන්ව අරින් නැතුව එහි රඳව ගන්නට කැමති වෙනවා මේ හොංකොං දේශයේ හෝටල් හිමියන්. ඒකම ඔවුන්ට ලංකාවට එනවා නම් නිවාඩු දීලා එලට ගමන් විදේශ ගමන් බලපත්‍ර අරන් දීලා ආපහු නැවත ගෙන්න ගන්නවා තමයි මෙහෙවන්නේ. ඒ එකම ලංකාවේ වන්නම් සහ අනෙකුත් දේශීය ජන සංගීතයේ වැදගත් දේවල් පාදක කරගෙන නිර්මාණය කරන ගීත, ඒ වගේම පිලිපීන් ජාතිකයන්ගේ විශේෂයෙන් ආකර්ෂණීය සංගීතය තමන්ගේ වැඩසටහන වලට සම්බන්ධ කරගන්නට මුදල් ගෙවා ඒ ශිල්පීන් බඳවගෙන කරපු උත්සාහය ඒ පැසසුමට ලක් වුණු ආකාරයත් මිනොන් සඳහන් කළා. මේක ඇත්තටම අපේ ශ්‍රාවකයන්ට වැදගත්. ඒ එකම මාකුස් මැතිනිය පවසනවා ලංකාවේ ජන සංගීතය උකහාගෙන එයින් යම් කිසි දෙයක් පාදක කර නිර්මාණය කරන්න කියලා. ඒ නිසාම තමයි ඩොක්ටර් විජේකෝරා මේ ආචාර්ය විජේකෝරාතුමා එතුමියට දෙනවා දකුණු ආසියාවේ කලා සංසදයක සමාජිකත්වයක්. ඒක අපි ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් කියන්නේ the South Asian Foundation. Asian Composers Foundation කියන එක. මේක ශ්‍රී ලාංකික ජන සංගීතය පාදක කරගෙන සංගීත කණ්ඩායමේ ජවයෙන් ලෝකයට ගෙන ගිහලා ගත්ත විශාල ජයග්‍රහණයක්. ඒ වගේම මෙනොන් කියපු ලස්සන කතාවක් තමයි මේ එහි දේශපාලන ක්ෂේත්‍රයේ ඉහළම තිබු මාකුස් මැතිනිය එතකොට ගවර්නර්. ඒ අයගේ සම්භාව්‍ය උත්සවවලදී මිනොන් සහ ජෙට්ලයිනර්ස් මේ සංගීතය සපයන්න තෝරා ගැනීම ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයෝ ඇරෙට අපිට ලොකු ආඩම්බරයක්. අපි ඔබට ප්‍රේක්ෂකයෝ වෙනුවෙන් අපේ ශ්‍රාවකයෝ වෙනුවෙන් මේ වැඩසටහන සම්මාදිත කර සියලු දෙනා වෙනුවෙන් අපි ගෞරවනීය ප්‍රසාදය ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා. Now, we would like to just ask a couple of few questions, perhaps two questions.
Yeah.
What happened to the jetliners?
The jetliners, well, I think we had jetliners of 3 generations. The first generation, I would say, is the original jetliners. Now, they are the ones that really took the band right up to the top at that point. Then after that, some decided to migrate, get into other work because their children had to be educated or whatever, or they wanted to go to Australia and couldn't maintain our lifestyle of music. Then they left. When they left, I took other people. I trained them. Otherwise, some of the Filipinos also came and played with us. So I told you, we worked with other bands also, so it was very good. And then it became jetliners of the first generation, second generation, third generation. And so the original jetliners, not due to any bad feelings or anything, they just life took them in different paths and they couldn't devote that much of their total life to music. So they went their paths.
All of them went abroad.
Yes, they all went abroad.
Fernando,
yes. Indra went, but Indra Raj, our lead guitarist, he has a Swiss band now, and he really is outstanding in his shadows music, and he's still continuing. And the others are in different fields. They do music, in a casual way, and I think they're all successful in their lives. So we had newer musicians, and then there's like Joey Lewis, Dylan Lai, and Hassan Musafa, the late Hassan Musafa, wonderful drummer, and late Harris Jurampati, original, yes, and Desmond Shockman. And so we had a excellent team. Most of the time we pushed the fact that people work together, dedicated, that fraternity, brotherhood, discipline, very important, and do the best you can. Do the best you can. I mean, as my son once told me when I was saying, oh baby, this is not right or that is not right, he used to tell me, Mama, your 100% may not be their 100%. Their 100% may be your 70%, but they are doing the best they can. So that was a big lesson that my little son taught me. So like that, everybody contributed to the success of the jetliners. And everybody is happy. Now some of the jetliners are continuing in Hong Kong. I had to come back. But they are continuing and with other bands, but doing well. Yeah.
Finally, the journey with music and jetliners, are you happy?
Yes, definitely. Probably, it was my first love, and it will probably be my last. So I think so. It's the most beautiful career to have, and you can always keep everybody happy, no matter what your mood is. Music can solve the problem, and I thank God for it, and my mother, who taught me.
Well, with that we come to the conclusion of today's edition of Saturday Stars, featuring Mignonne Fernando, the iconic, important personality who is right now happily living and looking back her past achievement. Deshabhimani Kirtisri Kala Bhushana Mignonne Fernando. We wish you all the best during the coming days and
thank you
so much. Healthy and a happy life once again.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to have been this little chat with you all. Thank you so much.
And in the meantime, I extend my thanks to Dr. Vijaya, who really, as usual, did the right part today as well to make this important edition a fantastic one. Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome.
And Salpeter, yes, putting me in trouble and making me conduct a hybrid program. Thank you very much for that as well. And we extend our thanks to our technical assistants, Malin Tadeshapriya, Saman Malecha Singer, and Vimukti Roshan. Thank you very much, everyone. And let's have a great idea of meeting you with another edition of Saturday Stars next time. Take care. Have a wonderful stay.
nasty, nasty